Good evening, and welcome to a special report. Tonight, we delve into the details of Operation Epic Fury, a significant and highly coordinated military operation that has reshaped the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East. For weeks, tensions had been escalating, with diplomatic channels seemingly reaching a dead end. Then, in the early hours of dawn, the world awoke to news of a decisive and powerful military strike. Sources within the Pentagon and the Israeli Defense Forces have confirmed a joint operation targeting key strategic sites within Iran. This was not a rash decision, but the culmination of months, if not years, of meticulous planning, intelligence gathering, and technological preparation. The primary stated objective was to neutralize specific threats and degrade military capabilities that were deemed in imminent danger to regional and global stability. Let's break down how this complex operation unfolded. It began with a sophisticated offensive elite cyber warfare units reportedly launched a multi-pronged digital assault, aiming to disrupt and disable Iran's command and control systems, air defense networks, and communication infrastructure. The goal was to create a digital fog of war, sowing confusion and blinding the adversary's ability to mount a coordinated response. This initial phase was crucial, paving the way for the physical assets to move in with a significantly reduced risk. Simultaneously, stealth assets were deployed. We're talking about the most advanced aircraft in the US and Israeli arsenals, F-35 Lightning II and F-22 Raptor jets, renowned for their low observable characteristics, penetrated deep into hostile airspace, flying undetected through what were previously considered heavily fortified air defense zones. Their mission was twofold: to gather last-minute intelligence and to take out key radar installations and surface-to-air missile batteries that might have survived the initial cyber attack. This is the modern equivalent of disabling the watchtowers before the main force arrives. Then came the main wave of the assault. A coordinated barrage of long-range precision munitions was launched from air, sea, and land. B-2 Spirit stealth bombers, flying directly from bases thousands of miles away, released their payloads of bunker-busting bombs on hardened underground facilities. From the waters of the Persian Gulf and the Arabian Sea, U.S. Navy destroyers and submarines launched volleys of Tomahawk cruise missiles, their flight paths expertly programmed to weave through terrain and evade detection. Israeli forces contributed with their own advanced ballistic and cruise missiles, striking targets with pinpoint accuracy. The list of targets was extensive and highly specific. It included nuclear enrichment facilities, ballistic missile production plants, drone manufacturing and storage sites, and the headquarters of key military units. The planners of Operation Epic Fury were adamant that the strikes were surgical, designed to minimize collateral damage and avoid civilian casualties wherever possible. This required an unprecedented level of real-time intelligence, with satellite imagery and signals intelligence constantly updating target coordinates right up to the moment of impact. The operation was not just about offense, it was also about defense. A multi-layered missile defense shield was fully activated across the region. U.S. and Israeli assets, including the Iron Dome, David Sling, Aero Systems, and ship-based AEGIS interceptors, formed an impenetrable-looking network. This shield was designed to intercept any retaliatory missile launches, protecting both military bases and civilian population centers throughout the region. This defensive posture was a critical component, allowing the offensive part of the operation to proceed with greater confidence. In the hours that followed the initial strikes, the world watched with bated breath. International reactions have been swift and varied. Allies in Europe and the Asia-Pacific have issued cautious statements, calling for de-escalation while acknowledging the stated security concerns that prompted the operation. Global markets reacted with volatility, as the price of oil saw a significant spike amid fears of a wider conflict that could disrupt vital shipping lanes in the Strait of Hormuz. Leaders from various nations have called for an emergency session of the UN Security Council to address the crisis and find a path back to diplomacy. Inside Iran, the situation remains fluid. State media has condemned the strikes as an act of aggression and a violation of national sovereignty, vowing a crushing response. However, with their command and control infrastructure severely degraded, the immediate capacity for a large-scale coordinated retaliation is a subject of intense debate among military analysts. The true extent of the damage is still being assessed, but initial reports suggest it is substantial, potentially setting back certain military programs by several years. Military experts are now analyzing the tactical and strategic implications of Operation Epic Fury. It represents a textbook example of 21st-century warfare, a hybrid approach that seamlessly integrates cyber, electronic and kinetic operations. The level of coordination between us and Israeli forces was unprecedented, showcasing a deep level of interoperability and shared intelligence that has been honed over years of joint exercises. The operation's success in neutralizing heavily defended targets will be studied in military academies for decades to come. However, the long-term consequences are far from certain. While the immediate military objectives may have been achieved, the political fallout has just begun. The operation has the potential to either reset the security calculus in the Middle East or ignite a much broader, more devastating regional war. The key question now is what comes next. Will this decisive military action force a return to the negotiating table from a new position of leverage, or will it entrench hostilities and lead to a cycle of retaliation and counter-retaliation? The human element in all of this cannot be overlooked. For the pilots, sailors, and cyber warriors involved, this was a high-stakes mission executed under immense pressure. For the people living in the region, the sounds of explosions and the uncertainty of what the morning will bring is a terrifying reality. The path forward will require not just military strength, but immense diplomatic skill, wisdom, and a genuine effort from all sides to step back from the brink. As we continue to monitor this developing story, we will bring you the latest information from our correspondents around the world and analysis from top military and foreign policy experts. The events of the past 24 hours have drawn a new line in the sand, and the world is now waiting to see where the pieces will fall. This is a pivotal moment in modern history, and the decisions made in the coming hours and days will have repercussions that echo for years. Thank you for joining us for this special report. Be sure to subscribe and enable notifications to stay updated as this story unfolds. Stay safe.